vlog this week. On my other off day, just sort of time to explore. Today we're just going to be exploring the Green Line a little bit. I just got off at the Kenmore stop, which is right at Fenway Park, which I'll be going ahead and showing you. I'll show you a little bit of like the surroundings before you see the baseball park. And yeah, so after the baseball park, what we'll be planning on seeing today, I'm going to be going to two art museums. One, the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum, this is going to be my first time going, so I'm really excited about that. And the next one is going to be the Museum of Fine Arts, which I went to last week, but I'm going to go a second time. So be tuned and in for the exploring today. Interesting enough, I actually didn't know it was game day. When I was just like kind of on the subway, I kind of noticed that a bunch of people were wearing the Red Sox jerseys, and I was like, it finally clicked to me. So I actually didn't really know where the park was, so that was really nice, because what better way to find it than to follow a bunch of Red Sox fans. Right, so I just left Fenway Park. I am on my way to the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. And I kind of really stayed at the park for longer. It was just really fun vibes all around. I'm not gonna front like I'm the biggest baseball fan ever, but I really enjoyed being a part of that, and just being there on game day too was great. So I'm on my way to the museum. Fun fact, if your name is Isabella, you get free admission for life, and also if it's your birthday, you get free admission. But none of those apply to me today, so I'll happily pay the $10 admission. I think I remember walking through about 4 floors of the museum in total, and the main attraction that the museum is famous for, that everybody wants to see, is the grand courtyard. And when you're in the courtyard, you kind of just forget where you are. You forget that you're in Boston, just because there's so many pervading cultural influences that you kind of see throughout the courtyard. Okay, so sort of to give a brief rundown of what the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum is. Isabella was a woman who came from a really wealthy family back in the 19th century, and during her lifetime she became a major patron of the arts. And a lot of that is due to her acquiring a lot of pieces in Europe, her travels in Asia, and she also acquired a lot of American art as well. So after leaving the Stewart Gardner Museum, I walked through the back Bay Fens, which is part of Boston's larger park system called the Emerald Necklace, and here you'll find the Keller Rose Garden just a short distance from the Museum of Fine Arts. So I'm currently in the surrounding parks outside of the Boston Museum of Fine Arts, so go ahead and just sort of get a glimpse of the surroundings. And like I said earlier, this is going to be my second time going. My first time was last week, and I was only there for about 2 hours, so in the grand scheme of things, even though I saw a lot in that short amount of time, there's still a lot more to see. And I'm one of those people, I kind of have to tend to do that anyway when it comes to art museums. I have to go more than once, because I'm one of those people, I like to take my time when I walk through. I like to read the literature of every piece I'm looking at, and just overall just be really engaged with the moment. So this time around will just be a really good opportunity to kind of re-look over the exhibits I saw, and even just see more of the museum that I didn't get to see. And that includes their permanent exhibit. So last time I didn't spend a lot of time in the arts of Africa, arts of Asia, arts of Europe, the global stuff. And this time with this exhibit, in this museum as a whole, what I really just appreciated it more than other art museums is the fact that I was engaged in all different directions. With other museums, I tend to find that there's only about 1 or 2 exhibits that I genuinely like, and everything else is just kind of, come with an open mind. But with this one, it was just everything I liked, whether it been Frida Kahlo, an Arte Popular exhibit, there was a fashion exhibit on bending gender, there was also an exhibit on Moulin Rouge, and their permanent collection was also just really impressive when it came to the contemporary stuff. So with my second time around, I hopefully will enjoy it as much as I did the first time. Alright, so noticeably outside of Fine Arts Museum, you see the statue of the giant head, and you can't miss it, so you know you're in the right place when you see that. This right here on the inside is the rotunda, which every time I've went to the museum, I always kind of use that as my sort of central point to sort of navigate the rest of the museum. Going from the rotunda, I walked through the permanent collection of the Art of Asia and Art of Europe wings of the museum. This exhibit is the Gender Bending Fashion exhibit, which discusses like the context of how gender has been expressed in different ways throughout modern times. When you first walk through, you actually see the dress that Young Thug wore on his Jeffrey mixtape, and that is sort of like the starting piece of where the rest of the exhibit is going. Coming up next is the exhibit on Frida Kahlo and Arte Popular. Not only does this exhibit cover like her work and other Mexican folk artists, but it also covered like a broader sense of modern art movements. Here you see some more Harlem Renaissance pieces, as well as some the style furniture. This right here is the exhibition that covered Honoré de Toulouse-Lautrec. And this is probably my favorite piece in the exhibition. This is Louise Fuller's Serpentine Dance, and this was just so mesmerizing to watch. Okay, so I just finished walking through the museum this time around. Always a treat, absolutely love it. And the cool thing about being here this summer is the fact that every Wednesdays this museum is free after 4, so I can always just come back whenever time I want and just kind of have a stroll through. But yeah, that's all I have for today. I'm gonna go ahead and head back so I can get ready for work tomorrow. But thank you guys so much for tuning in this week, and catch me for the next vlog. Bye!